Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. We are in my pantry because I have been wanting to make this space over for quite some time now. So here is a good look of the before we get to demolishing all of the shelves. So to start breaking up the shelves, I use my Ryobi multi-tool, and I love that multi-tool because it has so many interchangeable bits, one including like a mini saw to help break up wood. So I use that to get started, and as you can see, I also use my pry bar. And these two tools are really the only tools that I use on my demo days. So for the bottom of my pantry, I wanted to install cabinets here. So I'm also removing the baseboard so that I can do a cabinet installation. Now for base cabinets, since I couldn't actually find base cabinets that were narrow enough for my liking, I decided to use wall cabinets. But of course, I'm building a frame for the wall cabinets to sit on. Putting the cabinets on this frame will make it the same height as a countertop because my plan is to actually place a countertop on top of these cabinets. So for those of you guys who follow my Instagram religiously, you know that I have a wonderful place that I love to shop for discounted items. And I lucked out and was able to find wall cabinets at an amazing price. But these two particular cabinets, however, I had to end up screwing together to make it look like one unit. So that's what you can see that I'm doing here. I first screwed the two cabinets together, hence you can see them clamped together here in this image. And then once actually having them screwed together, I'm actually now screwing it to the wall, making sure that they're secure to the studs. Anytime that I have to work with having to mount cabinets or shelves or anything to the wall, I like to have my leveler sitting right on top of the item, hence that's what I have here, just to make sure that I'm keeping it level through the installation process. So for the countertop that I wanted to put in the pantry, I didn't want it to be too fancy, but I definitely wanted it to look nice. So I went with these IKEA laminate countertops. This was my first time working with countertops ever, so I figured having it be laminate would be easier for me to work with because I'm comfortable with cutting wood, not so much stone or granite or anything like that yet. So before actually installing the countertops, as you can see, I had this corner area that I didn't want to put cabinets in. I actually wanted shelves there. So before installing the countertops, I actually did build my own custom shelves to go in this area. So you guys know I love to use a spare wood. I had a lot of spare 3/4 inch plywood still in my garage from my wood stash. So I took measurements of that corner, which was kind of weird because it was a really weird L shaped. So I took a bunch of measurements and then cut 2 of the pieces of plywood, one for the base and then one for a middle shelf. So once I had the base cabinets and shelves installed, I then went ahead and removed the top part of the shelves. That's what you can see me doing there on the left side of the screen. I waited to this point of the renovation to remove it because I actually was still storing my smaller pantry items in there. Once I got the base cabinets and shelves in, I moved all of that stuff to the bottom, trying to keep the kitchen from not being so messy. So for the top half of the pantry, I still wanted to keep open shelving, but I wanted to appear more cubed-like, almost as though each item or certain items had their own cubby. I used frog tape to map out about how many cubbies I would want and to get a better idea of what the shelves would look like. For the shelves that I started building for the top of the pantry, I also used 3/4 inch wood here. And I did want each shelf to still be adjustable, so I made sure to add peg holes so that in the event, you know, things change around and you have more items of one product than another, I could move the shelving around as needed. Once I had all of my shelves in place and on the wall, it was time to trim. And you guys know I love white. Got white cabinets, white countertop, white shelving. So the trim I decided to do in black just to give it a little bit of variety and personality. Now for the corner shelves that I built at the bottom of my pantry, I decided not to do the black trim in that area. Instead, I ironed on edge banding tape. This just gives the plywood a clean finish so it doesn't have rough or jagged edges. So I found this really neat tool on Amazon. It allows you to install hardware and you're able to set it so that all of your hardware is being installed at the exact same place. It makes it so quick and so easy to do. And of course, if you're interested in any of the products you see here, you can check my description and I'll be sure to link it. And to tie in my trim, of course, I decided to install black hardware, which I love these handles too, also found on Amazon. So this particular pull actually does require 2 holes. I only made 1 hole at the time because I hadn't decided between 2 of the handles that I wanted. So you'll see here, one is a little bit longer on those back cabinets, and then the ones closer to the door, they were smaller handles. At the end of the day, I did decide to do the long handles. But let me know in the comments below, which ones would you have kept, the short ones or long ones? So to take this pantry up a notch and to ultimately create it into some form of a butler's pantry, it was necessary to add outlets. So I of course called my electricians over and they added in a couple of outlets for me. I wanted to be able to house some of my smaller appliances in here, so outlets were absolutely necessary for me. I wanted to also install backsplash in my pantry, so I wanted to be sure that all of the electrical work was done before starting the backsplash. So the very last step of my pantry renovation was backsplash, installing the backsplash. And while it was the very last thing to do, it was definitely the most tedious. So I won't go into great detail about the installation in this video. Stay tuned for the next one. Installing the backsplash, it had so many steps, so it deserves its own video. That way I can break down every single thing that I did in case you're wanting to do this as well. But just know overall, you guys, I absolutely enjoyed installing backsplash and cannot wait to when I can do it on the next project. So you guys just stay tuned for that. I'll be uploading the backsplash install video next. And I will still list all of the items used for the backsplash install. I'll still list it at the bottom in the description box. That way, if you want to go ahead and check out those things, you can do so now. And even though I'm not sharing the backsplash install now, I will not delay the reveal. So here you go.
Yeah. Sorry for what I have put you through. Still have you on my mind. My focus been drifting away from you. Just wasn't our time.